SDP, finish that thought.
So what it means here is that, and now of course I can see the roster, so it's not anything great, but okay, this is interesting. They are going to be playing Nene here. I was going to say is that you'll be seeing Mangachu and Flower here for the EnVision server pick, so maybe we're in West, I don't know, or maybe Nene has gone to the US. Either way, XL2 going to be opening up with Nene Flower.
Yeah, as we load on, as this next game does go underway. We are on Nepal here on Shrine. We do have Jaru on that star, but we did hear a hack go off, but I didn't get to quite see who it went on to. So that is on cooldown now. It's not on Nene, so he's going to be able to get to the back as soon as they see fire spotted out.
Flower is under pressure as Jaru trying to take him down, but he goes too far. Flower gets away. Goliath might be out of the fight, but it's 5 on 5. You don't have to worry about Sombra, and this opens up Flower here. It's going to be Flower v Buds. Buds got the Tracer v Tracer. Flower working on the point for anything he can get, but he's going to get forced down. It's a Moira pressure coming in on the Genji. Obviously can't deflect that, but you see that pickoff coming in for XL2. They're still maintaining presence at the point, but Buds brings it back the other way.
Yeah, Clone Man didn't know that there was no Mega Health Pack on the left-hand side. He tried to jump out there, but Buds chased him down. Midnight's gonna get debanked, but he was able to build up that self-destruct. He just get back right on in, but Buds is still the terror in the bag, taking out Goliath once again as soon as he gets back. Flower now with the blade. He's gonna pick up 2. Will he get a 3rd? He's on the hunt for more, but that might have been the swing XL2 needed.
That was a super early blade from Flower. It finally got Buds out of the fight, but credit where credit is due. Buds is playing out of his mind in that early engagement, and that's really good for EnVision as the night goes on.
Yeah, to start off with Buds on a hot streak now with that Tracer. I mean, he picked off Goliath twice now. Goliath has to be careful. Adam needs to stick with him to keep him alive, because take a look, he's only at 55% towards his Transcendence after a really extended first fight.
Meanwhile, Buds going on the flank, and the goal here is simple as always: divert attention, let the rest of your team dive in. Buds coming in off the other flank. He's not really close to any enemies that you'd like, but now he can fight for Nene. Flower, though, early on off the counter dive, got fire immediately, but it doesn't matter. Crimson with the Coalescence actually just beams down Nene. Buds not having to do too much here, just laying in damage onto tanks, going around the outskirts, and EnVision keeping composure, getting the early pickoffs, and easy cleanup for Buds to finish it out.
Yeah, that was an interesting maneuver coming out from the EnVision squad there. Buds goes on to the front line. He's actually over at that Mega Health Pack that we just saw to the left. And then from there, XL2 dives on in. He counter dives as the tanks go in. Actually forces Nene out first and then is able to clean up after that. Now, Jaru, he's got the EMP. Goliath has to be careful.
And Jaru, of course, he's going to be looking for Goliath. Goliath is the #1 target to go after if you're fighting against XL2. He's usually not super well protected. There's the EMP getting set up here by Jaru. He's waiting for his opportunity. Didn't decide to go for it there, but can set it up at any point. Now, gonna go invisible, lays down his escape plan. Dives in deep, oh, gets taken out of stealth. Goliath getting saved. He was the target there, but he is well protected in the moment, and now he gets to transcend in with no EMP in sight.
Self-destruct is used by Midnight, who almost goes down before he can re-mech, but the Primal Rage is there to disturb everybody. Clone Man taking out Jaru. Now Flower wants to finish this off with that blade, but both the Sound Barrier and the Coalescence are used by EnVision as Nene gets the D-mech onto McGravy.
And now XL2, they're gonna barrier. They go, we've taken down 2, we have this fight, and everything very much backing that up as XL2 begins to evict EnVision player after player away from this fight. And I gotta say, what a great heads-up play to get Jaru out and stop that EMP.
And that was a lot invested by EnVision, though, using both of their support ultimates, the Sound Barrier, along with the Coalescence. We saw earlier on in this map, Crimzo was able to come up with some key initial frags with that Coalescence, this time just completely fizzling.
And Goliath, actually, this is really smart. He's gone to the Moira now. They realize the EMP is up, and they're not giving Jaru that early option to deal with him, so this is going to be interesting. I don't know if Jaru's realized the Moira swap here just yet, but he's going to be looking for Zenyatta. You're not going to find it. You have to go for more general EMP. He does drop the EMP and almost gets picked off in the process. Didn't find the original target, but it's enough as Buds comes in off the flank, gets Clone Man with the bomb, and EnVision still making the most of it.
Flower still alive, though, and he's almost got a blade as Nene takes the heads up against Buds, taking him out now, but with Midnight falling, looks like XL2 are just going to go ahead and give up the point at 90%.
Vision getting control once more, and Jamerson, we're going to be coming down to a final fight soon here. XL2 going to have to look for Flower to come in with a game-saving Dragon Blade.
Yeah, and, well, he doesn't have to go up against the Zenyatta either. He just has to be careful. Jaru has to be on the lookout for this Genji now, just to get the individual hack off so he can't have that major damage boost with the dashed resets.
You've set the stakes here, and we'll see just how it plays out. Flower, of course, the man of the hour right now, does have a lot of ways to turn this fight and gets hacked. What you set up comes to pass as he gets stomped right out of the fight. An amazing play coming out from EnVision, and this has put XL2 in dire straits. They don't have a Dragon Blade here. The self-destruct doesn't get anyone. EnVision bends back, but bends back in. They're very much in this fight. Cloman is down. XL2 overdives. It's a desperation barrier that hits 4 people. They're trying to buy time for Flower to get back in. He does come back in, but the EMP caught him. He can't go anywhere with the blade. He's not able to get the targets he wants. He's isolated down. Eyeshiny knocks him into oblivion, and EnVision holding strong versus XL2.
They're going to try and delay this out, but still overtime has ticked on for so long that the respawn timers are just so brutal. And with that, EnVision will walk away with the first point here on Nepal.
My goodness, and
that was a brutal shutdown.
It was a brutal shutdown, but look, you predicted it there. You said, hey, you're going to have this interaction between Blade and Hack, and guess what happened? Flower got hacked, immediately dove on, and that was that. Didn't get a chance to make something good happen with that Blade.
Yeah, we talked about it at the top that we were a little bit worried about Jaru's Sombra performance, but I mean, it worked out for them. Him and Buds, they were able to get onto Goliath at the beginning of the match. That's who they were shutting down. And then once Goliath walked off, then they decided to focus down Flower a lot. Now, as we move on to Sanctum, we're seeing some different looks. We do have the Orisa along with the Diva outside coming out from both ends, but it's the DPS, again, the Widowmaker and the Junkers that we really have to look at.
And this is a change-up for EnVision now in playoffs versus at the beginning of the season. They're not going to run the Sombra in every situation. They're going to something a little bit more tried and true, consistent with the Junkrat. And they'll stick on the Widow so long as they're able to get first point or while they're contesting for it. If they're not able to take it here, Buds will probably swap off. And oh, gets Flower! Flower took airtime at the wrong time. Early pickoff for EnVision, and now they're just going to roll onto the point.
They are able to res him back into this, but that does mean, yeah, they were able to get onto the point first. That's extra damage that Jaro was able to get off, and so that does force them back. Buds
got
huge pickoff onto Adam.
Yeah, Adam was just recovering out of the res, so yeah, you got the resurrection, but you're in such a position that Buds still was able to get in on you. And Buds right now has no reason to swap off this Widow. This is the dream as a Widow in an early comp on Sanctum.
And this is so hard to retake when you're trying to run that mirror composition. Right, you're running right into the sight lines of the Widowmaker, of the Junkrat. There it is. Adam runs right into the crosshairs of Buds again.
Meanwhile, is Buds under pressure right now? Not really. Nene was looking for him, but Nene's going to get forced back. And they've also just forced XL2 in a really awkward spot. XL2 is still running Widow on the attack. It's nowhere near as effective as running on the defense. This is so good for EnVision right now.
Yeah, continuing to try and run this pick-heavy, really slow composition does not work well here, especially on Sanctum. As you try to press forward, you're just getting spammed down, and you're leaving yourself vulnerable to these sidelines. Now, take a look. And Nene on the opposite end, he just has to shoulder peek, but here's the Riptire coming on in.
Riptire, so many options go in and around, and sometimes you take the most direct route. You get Cloman, and Buds just getting pickoff after pickoff. Is he dominating the game right now? No. Is he doing enough to make it so XL2 doesn't get a clean fight? Yes, and that's good enough. At some point, you need to get him, whether it be a Widow pick or otherwise, but if you're running Widow here, it's still so good for Nene.
Nene?
Or sorry, for Buds, I should say.
Yeah, Nene will have a little bit of an advantage this time now. He's going to have their infra sight, but still, Buds, again, he's got this free angle. He knows wherever everyone is coming from. It's that one angle that they approached with that Orisa, as Flower is now trying to make his way on in, but instead, EnVision just kite away. They go into that cabinet, and now they're trying their best to hold on.
Well, you have the Halt coming out, not really amounting to much. EnVision very much holding their ground. They can transcend if XL2 goes in too deep. XL2, this is where they need the tire. This is where Flower just needs to crack on it, use this as the just breaker of ice in the moment. Can it stay alive? Going over and in, gets deep and gets Jaru, but in the fray of things, Fire took down Nene and Mercy of Widow attack. Buds still is working with infinite room here in the back, and EnVision has full control of the point. XL2 must continue to dive on in. It's EnVision on the verge of taking map 1, and they are very, very close to doing so. Just a few more members to clean up. No, Nene, you're nowhere near the point, and it's gonna be EnVision easily taking this first map.
Why was Bud's Widowmaker just never addressed?
Good question. I wish I knew.
Questions we wish we had answers to, brought to you by us.
Well, one of the things is that XL2, I don't know why they continue to run the mirror composition up against that. When usually we see a lot of teams, if they lose that initial fight up against a Widowmaker along with the Junkrat, they just go for full dive. And they have the tools there. They have Flower, they have Nene. You know, they're great Tracer Genji combination. Why did they just run that?
I don't know.
Why are we asking you, ZP? Come on.
Look, part of it too with Sanctum is that, look, if you're going to be running that, Widow is fine on the initial attack. It's fine if you have control. It's much harder to get good pickoffs coming in to try and retake. Can it work? Sure. Is it ideal? No. And Nene's really good on Tracer. At some point, swap that off because Nene wasn't getting anything done and looking for pickoffs there. And, you know, as mentioned, Buds had all the time in the world to work with, and he was able to get a pickoff in just about every fight.
So when it comes down to choosing when to play a Widowmaker and when not to play a Widow, it looks like it really comes down to who is going to have superior coverage, right? Why would someone stick to that kind of that mirror, like you said, that mirror composition in this situation? Do you feel like they were just maybe trying to find that sight line, or were they just stuck?
Well, because there's times where Widow feels like, I can still kill this guy. I'm going to overcome the odds of having to go in and attack, which is really tough for Widow, and I'm going to find that magical pick. Unfortunately, that unwarranted confidence does not always pay off, and this is one of those cases where it simply didn't. Nene wasn't able to make the Widow work going on the retake, and I mean, that was pretty much it. Buds had the reign of the map for as long as he wanted.
Yeah, and Buds was excellent. I mean, he was really doing really well on his Widowmaker. So what did you think about Jaru's performance there? Because we've seen Jaru on that Junkrat quite a bit.
I mean, he was just able to spam with that, especially that huge initial pickoff by Buds when he got Flower, who had jumped in, who had conked mined himself into the air. That allowed them to actually get point position onto, of Sanctum there. And because there was that discrepancy in DPS, because one Junkrat was alive while the other wasn't, when the Orisas both try to push forward, the one who has the Junkrat alive is the one that's going to survive, and their shield is the one that's going to survive.
Well, one of XL2's kind of hopes right now is riding on the shoulders of Midnight. And we also got a chance to catch up with him earlier, and we're going to see what he has to say about playoffs. This is Heroes Rising, presented to you by Old Spice.
Old Spice Hand Gym. Get good, get gains.
Take 4 with Midnight, Mark.
My name is Michael Ryan.
My in-game name is Midnight. I play flex/off tank for XL2 Academy.
Midnight takes down Arrow.
And now it's the man advantage for XL2.
Walking into this arena for the first time was a truly amazing experience. Seeing the stage gave me a lot of motivation to actually become the best player that I can be.
Midnight is trying to get the D-Mech. He will with the whole hog out now.
Continues their relentless assault.
I'm from Staten Island, New York. I would be in my senior year of college if I hadn't dropped out to pursue this career. Well, I was majoring in software engineering, and I had been working with some of my professors to get a PhD. As of right now, I do not regret dropping out of school at all. I think that if I end up not being successful, I might have a little bit of regret, but I'm pretty sure that I will be successful.
Midnight
takes a few headshots, getting onto the points, but that's a huge pickoff.
I think at first my parents were somewhat supportive, but then it started getting more and more real.
Midnight just in the nick of time!
When the Overwatch League was announced, it was a pretty big deal for them, I think, because they had something concrete that they can look at as evidence that it can be a real career.
But XL2 keeps the pressure up.
But still, the tanks are being supported now.
They take down 2.
They have the damage there.
They don't get anything off the barrier.
I think my playstyle is kind of unique.
Side of bacon in for Midnight there.
I play very reactively to how the enemy team is playing.
Mayhem Academy start pushing forward.
And then I just change my playstyle accordingly.
That's a whole lot of damage onto Cruz.
If I need to peel more, I'll help my team more. And if I feel like things aren't dying, I'll go more aggressive.
More finally goes down, assisted by Midnight.
D.Va's my favorite hero because you're almost like a third support in a sense, because you can help your team by blocking damage, but at the same time, you can also go aggressive and get a lot of kills, so it's a lot of fun.
As Midnight piles on, this is a huge swing in the fight.
The whole time that I've been playing Overwatch, I've been working towards this goal. The fact that I'm this close to achieving that goal is an incredible feeling. And I know that if I do get my opportunity, I'll be fully prepared for it.
Yeah, and that versatility that he was talking about in his D.Va play is really going to be what is the difference maker here. We are heading into Nabani, and it's absolutely pivotal when it comes to that dive, both in defense and offense, to know when to be aggressive, to know when to play defensive, when to back off, and when to put in pressure. And that's going to be the difference between EnVision taking another map or XL2 getting on the board.
And really, no team wants to be looking down the barrel of a reverse sweep, although, of course, that has happened to EnVision so far. But either way, NYXL definitely needs to come in strong moving into Nambani. And hey, to the Midnight note, it's been a long journey for Midnight. I mean, I've seen him as a player going way back over 2 years, and I do think he's improved his off-tank play over time, and he's on that grind like so many other players are. And it would be huge, of course, for him if XL2 was able to get through here and get to that live finals.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, getting picked up for an academy team is definitely great for you, but also just making sure that you're putting your best foot forward, especially because he is of age. He is someone who can just go ahead and go into the OWL for the next signing period. And so he does want to perform to the best of his abilities here, and he's been doing a good job so far. He has been one of the more stable players, one of the more stable players for the XL2.
What can we see from XL2 that can kind of neutralize Bud's impact on his Widow right now? Because that's going to be another kind of pivotal point here on Umbani.
Well, look, Nene is no slouch on Widow, whether it be on Widow or on Tracer, and you use that hit scan pressure against Buds. You challenge him straight out and hope that you're able to win with the support of your team. And server choice-wise, there's no reason why they can't play on something that would be very good for Nene. I do think you need to pressure Buds with another good hit scan. Whether that happens, we'll see.
We will see indeed. Here we are, guys, heading into game. This is the second map. This is the first chance that we're going to really see for XL2 Academy to see if they can flex that Flower Nene Midnight combo. Here we go.
It's not going to be the Flower Nene. It's actually going to be the Nene Chew coming out for XL2.
Yeah, flowers won't be blooming here, but this makes perfect sense to me because Pharah can be very good on the attack, and even though Flower has a good Pharah himself, look, if you have Mangachu in the roster and you're not going to let him play Pharah, why would you have him there to begin with? So XL2 putting their hopes and dreams in Mangachu early on here in Nabani.
Also, this is the combination you want, right? Nene, he plays such an amazing Tracer. He will be able to follow up on any errant rocket that Mangachu connects with.
And all Nene has to do here, he doesn't have to be the hero in the backline. Just prevent Buds from doing crazy stuff and let Mangachu work. Where this is his zone where he's very good at. Gonna get the early boop on the Zen. Good disruption from XL2 early on, and Mangachu just gonna continue to land the poke damage here, forcing positional changes as XL2 gets in the point. They almost have a tick already, and Vision, a bit of disarray. They tried again, Mangachu, and they don't, and this is very good for XL2. Everyone's so healthy as they almost have 2 ticks.
Yeah, Shiny and Gravy are taking so much poke damage now from Mangachu. He's got all these rockets connecting while Jaru will finally clean up Adam here. Now it's Mangachu on the hunt. He's onto the point, and he does have, the Moira there to keep him alive.
This is really well played by XL2 so far. You see Mangachu just going back and forth on the battlefield, never letting himself get picked off, pushing people back, got the early disrupt on the Zenyatta early on, as EnVision just desperately trying to pile back in, but you have the early clauses for Goliath, gonna beam down 2 people when it matters most, and XL2 looking very refined on this early Nambani fight.
They just need to clean up, but we have Crimson coming in. He's going in for the recontest, is able to use that Transcendence to keep McGravy up, who had almost gone demeched there, and so they're keeping this alive for now. It's just a few slivers away for XL2 to take this point. We'll see if anyone jumps off.
And XL2, they bent back while dealing with that pressure coming in. They still have everyone up. Shiny a little bit too far deep. Jaro, though, brings out the blade, trying to bring it back the other way. Oh, he doesn't get Adam! Adam just barely gets under the door, and yet it still might be enough. EnVision starting to flirt with coming back here in the right moment. The self-destruct gets one, but respawns are back in. They chased XL2 back, and XL2 perhaps should have been a little bit more aggressive there.
It just looks so good. Goliath with that coalescence. He was able to build it up early because Adam had gotten picked off by Jaru. Jaru eventually actually destroys that Pharah Mercy combination by himself. But here we go. Mangachu with a great conk is able to get them off the high ground here. But they need to be able to follow up on that. They need to get on the point. They need to pressure it.
Well, they're trying to do just that right now. Bud's gonna be forced out of the fight real early on. Oh, did Cloman just get booped off? That was real close. Is he gone? He's gone! Shiny knocking him to the abyss. Great heads-up play by Shiny in the moment. Midnight's down. No more tanks for XL2. And Mangachu, despite putting in good work, will be getting pushed off because, hey, your tanks are down. What more can you do?
And even though that was only the second fight, XL2 are now down to 1 minute and 25 seconds. That first initial fight was so extended. It drew on for so long now. XL2, before they come in for this next engagement, only going to have about 1:15, 1:10. We'll see. Mangachu is still sticking with this Pharah. He's getting some good damage up, but he just needs that follow-up.
It's so weird because XL2 has looked really good, and yet so much time is gone. They get back onto the point once more. EnVision, though, has tools. You have Buds on the outskirts. Aishiny's gone, but Jaru is still here, chasing Adam, and this time he gets some anti-air in process from Jaru on the assault. Not quite able to chase down Mangachu, but Mangachu doesn't have a lifeline. Finally, he goes down as well. But on the other end, it's Nene working the outskirts, gets rid of McGravy, but Buds on the other end keeps EnVision in, just trying to stall for people to get back, but the numerical advantage in the point too overwhelming. XL2 finally gets the payload moving.
Ooh, that was dicey once again. Jaru was able to take the Pharah Mercy out by himself. He just needed anyone else from his team to just come up with those huge kills. But we saw Buds, he was trying his best to follow up on damage, but it just was not enough. Goliath with the healing, with the AoE healing was just too much to try and cut through now. As XL2 move forward, they're going to be sticking with this Pharah. And then we'll see. Mangachu does have that barrage. Goliath even lurking now here on the high ground.
Goliath probably needs to swap here soon. I don't think he's going to stand the Moira for long. He just wants to let loose one final energy beam as Mangachu gets Aishiny, but sacrifices for the cause. Now, he still can be brought back up. You have to cover your kill. And instead, it's Aishiny that's brought back up. Adam, I think he's going for the res right now. He is, but he ends up dying for it in return. Aishiny with the salty run back, working for EnVision. Pulse bomb out from Buds, and not getting what he's looking for in the moment. EnVision fighting this right back. You can't let a Winston back into the fight.
Yeah, so the Coalescence was used because Clone Man did force out, with that Primal Rage, to force out the Transcendence from EnVision. So yeah, we're seeing XL2 now swap off. This is going to help them a lot because now they have that damage orb. Shiny and McGrave, they're going to be up against it really at this point, try and deal with all the damage, especially now Mangachu swapping off himself onto the Junkrat.
Swaps for all sides here, and the Zenyatta definitely going to be helping out XL2, just isolating targets, especially for Nene. But here comes Jaru, another blade, another double kill, make it 3. Jaru slicing on through the hopes of XL2 as EnVision has found renewed vigor on their second point in Nabani defense. Only 1:25 left.
And again, it's like he's got a personal vendetta against Mangachu and Adam because he pulls out the blade, both of them die once again, even though Mangachu this time isn't on the Pharah. But Jaru, he's having such a great performance now in this series.
Brother, I have learned to defy gravity. It's like, all right, you're a robot, we get it. Meanwhile, Buds looking for the pickup, gets Goliath really far out, and gets Adam from long range. Excellent tracking from Buds. Need to watch the step towards the end, but that has taken away the lifeline from EnVision, and you see EnVision wisely conceding some space.
XL2 now, though, left with 50 seconds, and they have a long way to go to finish off this payload. Remember, this is where teams get gummed up. If they lose the fight here, it's basically over for XL2.
And you should not get held on second point Nambani. You should be able to get through the third. It is super rare to actually have this happen. Oh, Crimzo, goodbye. Nowhere to float, as it were. 2 immediate pickoffs coming out from XL2 off an excellent self-destruct by Midnight. He knew the promo video was just used. Crimzo's gonna get brought back into the fight. Bud's a little bit low, but it's XL2 now on a relentless assault, and Crimzo just loses up. He's back down. Mangachu continues making space on this rat. There's a vermin problem in Nambani, and it's gonna get him the point B.
But Nambani's supposed to be perfect with lots of Omnics and it's utopia in the desert. No.
But do you have something against rats? Why can you not have rats here?
Hey,
Wow.
hey, they have, you know, OR 14s, or is it the OR 13s that are like the cleaning units? I don't know.
Well, they're not even
Michael Chu, we got to talk.
They're not effective at doing much, but XL2 able to use the route to their advantage here. They're going to retire to start this out.
Minkachu holding on to it for now because they can wait it out, right? They want to see like Buds and Jaru find out where they're positioned before he tries to go for it. He's not going to leave himself vulnerable. Ooh, the pulse bomb. Crimzo survives and he's able to back away, but the Riptire will connect, taking out Shiny.
Shiny was really deep here, and I'm not sure that's going to be resable. Look to Fire right now. Fire, are you a bad enough dude to resist Winston that died deep in enemy territory? Are you enough to save Private iShiny? And no, iShiny is going to come back to base as EnVision gets to reset. XL2 though, one fight away.
But they have to do it in the face of Jaru and Bud.
Saved.
Oh, somehow survives with that Transcendence now as Fire does go down to Nene. iShiny, it's a 2-for-1 exchange. Only Minkachu falling now. They're about to get the D-Mac to get out the orb. But the blade once again. Jaru goes into the high ground. No, he gets taken out by the self-destruct.
I think he knew he was going to die no matter what. I was like, I will go for this no matter what. Well, guess what? The wrong part happened. XL2 going to be pushing this right to the apex here. Crimzo not able to take that fight first. Nene and XL2 only needing a tiny little bit more in the moment. Nene on the hunt for mercy. The hunt is successful. Fire's wings are clipped. 1.7 meters away is XL2 and EnVision not really working much here. Do they get the little bit of Diva Stall? They do, but the D-Mech immediately there. Every bit of cleanup going XL2's way and not a lot of traction from EnVision as that is finally pushed on in.
Importantly, though, EnVision, right, even though the map was completed by XL2, they were able to stall it out long enough so that we go into overtime, and so we have that, you know, different condition if we do go into extra innings here on Numbani. But so far, EnVision, they look so good. We talked about it at the top, right? It needs both. They need both Buds and Jaru to be performing, and that's exactly what's happening here today.
The other thing that was very strange was that first point defense where it's rare for me to look at a fight and go, wow, this is weird. But it truly was weird where XL2 was in control of that fight for a very long time, but they never took the final step of fully pushing out EnVision. And EnVision was able to buy time, actually finally win that fight. And you had pointed out mid-cast where you're just like, well, the Void lost 2 fights and they only have a minute 30 left. That was not great for XL2. They could have set a quicker time here.
Yeah, and I thought that was a weird decision because they did have Minkachu on the Pharah. There wasn't a Soldier 76 on EnVision's side. He could have gone a lot more aggressive. Instead, he was playing on the point with the rest of his team instead of trying to spam tighter angles.
Adam, I just want to say I feel sorry for you. I understand the problems with fixing a flat tire in the future. I mean, it's not even a tire. It's like some sort of hover thing, but that's what Adam was doing there.
And, of course, it's going to have to actually take a scientist to try and deal with that. Oh. Those are going to be future people problems. That's going to be future Jamerson problem. I'm not going to be worrying about it today.
Look, at that point, the cars will drive us all. I will hope that AAA would be automated as well. But XL2 going to be on the defense here. They're going to put Nene likely further in the back on the Widowmaker. And Minkachu, the punching power up front on the Rats.
Yeah, this is a similar look that we see out from XL2 whenever they play Numbani. They do like, of course, Nene on the Widowmaker and Minkachu on the Junkrat. That's why we're seeing a little bit more prominence and popularity with this composition. It is so good at zone control and so difficult to dive into. So now, Jaru, he had some great plays on that Genji. He is on it again. They are going to go for that dive. Have they spotted out the Widowmaker and the Junkrat? Yeah, they know for sure.
They know where it's there, but just knowing is not always half the battle, as it were, here, because as EnVision goes in, if you go for Junkrat, you let Nene poke you, and oh, well, sometimes Junkrat goes for you and does a squat. Goodbye, Buds. XL2 getting a little bit cheeky in the end.
You gotta admit, that's a little bit more impressive, because remember, you only have the one leg. So it's a little bit extra force that has to be forced out of the right leg there for the squat.
You gotta have your priorities when you have one leg in the future. Why doesn't have a prosthetic? The world may never know, but Nene still looking for pickoffs, and look at how stalled EnVision is here. Now, Nene's taking a risk by being that far deep, but now they know things are in progress. He's going to go for the back. Buds on the prowl. Nene in trouble, needs help. Fighting Buds, forces the rewind, and everyone's chasing Nene. This gives an opportunity for Minkachu to clean up on the other end. At 72%, looking for the flanks is Junkrat. Nene picks off Jaru, coming back the other way, and the dive on Nene does not result in a kill, and he's back into the fight.
He is, but they've already secured 2 ticks for EnVision now. They're going to be able to contest, but he will get taken out as iShiny jumps up onto the high ground. Midnight finally contesting the point here, but he needs the rest of his team. They've got Clone Man. Primal Rage can be used by Shiny just to try and beat him away from the points, but he will be able to get back into his spec after using that self-destruct just to zone them away.
That was heartbreaking almost for XL2, but they were able to get back just in the nick of time. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left of this attack as iShiny gets staggered once more.
Now Buds is here looking on the high ground. Now, even though in that last engagement, he wasn't able to get that kill onto Nene, the fact that he actually drew away Adam to pocket him that whole time.
Oh! Buds was just on the flank going, no one knows I'm here. I will die. I will feed. That is how that thought ended.
Continuing my thought though, yeah, Buds able to force the pocket onto the Widowmaker meant that Midnight wasn't getting pocketed and he got demeched. And so things looked great for EnVision on their attack. But of course, you just had some great plays.
So Mangachu oftentimes likes going for these counter tires, but he's going to go for it early here this time. Any pick is a good pick. Doesn't matter what hero. Of course, you would want to get Ian if there's res, but they're going to get Jaru. So what's going to happen here is that Ira's going to run back in, bring Jaru up. But the res is out of the equation for the next fight.
Yeah, just a little bit of sweet revenge for Mangachu after getting taken out of the sky about 3 times by Jaru. Jaru now has a blade, and we've seen how strong he can be with it. He's looking for that dive, and it looks like he might be going up to Mangachu.
Crimson was so close to getting taken down. The flank almost enough. XL2, they bend back, but they don't have the luxury to do that for this long here. They only have a 1-tick margin. Jaru, is he going off the edge? Wall climb, knocked back. Oh, he's down! Jaru taken down by Clone Man. Bouncing for Nambani. Can't blade into that one.
He might have thought he had an extra wall climb there, but it was the same jump, technically. So he didn't get the refresh on it. I was thinking maybe he pops the blade just to get back in, but he gets moved back. So I think it was a good call from him to not use the blade to try and get back into that. They have one more fight. It's 30 seconds. They just need one more tick to continue on this map.
I don't know what look Clone Man would have on his face right now, but smug.
It's the big smug monkey, right?
Well, speaking of smug, and not at all, in fact, we have the tire back the other way. Oh, a very quick D-Mech on McGrave. And Clone Man gets Nano Boost, just brings him right down. Not a very resable position as Clone Man continues his assault. Jaru gonna be equalized. Oh, got knocked off by the first bomb. And no, from above, Midnight saving Mangachu, swooping in. And that's gonna be enough. XL2 fights back on the Bonnie. We have ourselves a series.
Yeah, there was really no stopping Midnight. He got that video under his belt, and he was like, let me tell you guys what I talk about when I say knowing Diva. And he did great.
No, I did actually. I was watching that kind of micro between Jaru and Midnight. That's not something you normally look towards when you go to Genji versus a Diva player, but the defense matrices were on point. There were a lot of really close moments where Jaru almost got a kill or would have put someone at a very critical HP if it weren't for Midnight with those defense matrix.
Also, speaking of tank play, like, look, we have been a little bit rough on Clone Man over the course of Contenders because he has had some pretty rough moments, but that was great for Nambani from him. That moment where you isolate Jaru and not get Genji off the map. Look, that is not easy. Genji has plenty of tools to get back on, but Clone Man landing every swipe, pushing Jaru off the edge when, of course, we know he's effective with Dragon Blades. That was a gigantic play for XL2 staying in that fight.
Yeah, it was a complete different look, right? Because Jaru's Genji Blades on their defense were doing so much work for them, but on the offense, it got shut down.
And we finally got to see kind of some Midnight Nene of days past, where we got to see the glory of that synergy. Here is Nene just cleaning everything up.
Yeah, Nene looked good here. There's no doubt about it. And of course, this is the power where you get to go in a server you're comfortable on. And Nene looked more like the Nene we saw in the very beginning of Contender season with XL2. And look, this is what made this match so unpredictable, is that both these teams have had very high highs, and now we've kind of seen both teams show us what they have in the players that are sometimes unpredictable, and it may mean that both teams are bringing out real power here in the playoffs.
Alrighty, well, we are going to go to break, but when we come back, the series is tied up 1-1. Stick around, we'll see who pulls out the lead.